Howdy y'all, and welcome back to I Am a Champion Paralympics Edition. Sorry, my dogs are cracking me up. I wanted to take a moment to highlight an athlete that really stuck out to me during these Paralympic Games. His name is Andrew Kurka. He is a 26-year-old downhill skier from Alaska. Now, the reason he stuck out to me a lot was, first of all, I got to see him on network television winning a medal, and it was for Alaska. One of the first times I ever got to see a medal game, and this person got to win. And one of my dearest friends ever lives in Alaska, so I thought that was pretty awesome. And I sent her an email right away to tell her my excitement. Lola, where are you going? Thank you. And she sent me back an email from her local area, from the Anchorage Daily News. Here's one really cool factoid for you. Kurka is the first Alaskan to earn a medal at the Winter Paralympics. Ding! So immediately my interest is piqued because, in case you haven't noticed, I'm actually reading the article to you a little bit, or at least portions of it. My interest was really piqued once I saw that, because not only did I get to see someone from my friend's home area, but he happens to be the first to do it from her whole state. So that was pretty awesome. And the first medal to be awarded to someone from Alaska in the Winter Paralympics is a gold. And the very next day he goes on to win the silver. So as I am making this video right now, that is the amount of medals that he has won to my knowledge. I believe he still has 1 or 2 events to run, so his tally might get bigger. But I do know he has failed to succeed in the last couple of events since I've gotten this article. Okay, so back to Andrew Kurka. What really stuck out to me in this article, though, once I got past that, and one of the last couple of paragraphs in this article, was that he was injured in an accident in his teens. And it was an off-roading accident, and he got injured and partially paralyzed. And then he went on to do more athletics. He was athletic before his accident and after. But what really stuck out to me was that the article spoke about how he was injured so many times every season that most of his seasons would end almost before they got to begin, because of his injuries. He broke his back a couple of times. He broke several other bones in his body, sprains, breaks, you name it. He probably did it. Because, as it says, for years he raced with what might be called a reckless abandon. He didn't really have a lot of method to it. He just really was excited, and he would just keep going for it, which is great. But it wasn't until Kurka broke a minimum of 1 bone per season from 2010 to 2015, and more often than not, his seasons were interrupted or ended prematurely by injuries. His 2014 training accident in Sochi, the last Winter Paralympics, marked his 4th time he's broken his back. After he recovered from that injury, he broke his thigh bone while training for his comeback. A full year passed from his injury in Sochi to his return to competition, and when he resumed racing, he brought something new to his game: the willingness to ski less recklessly and rely more on technique. I thought that was really neat. So I just read to you the 3 paragraphs that I found the most interesting. I'm sorry I had to look at my Kindle to do it, but anyhow, to see this article about this Paralympian, someone at the top of their game, willing to admit that being reckless isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Being reckless is great sometimes. It has gotten several people into the Olympics and the Paralympics, I'm sure, because it takes a little bit of reckless to even think about being able to do the kind of things that they do. I agree. But for him to realize after so many times of this just not working right, that he had to commit himself to ski less recklessly and rely more on technique is really important to me, is really cool to me to see the athlete really say that. And that was a quote from let me make sure I get the article's name right. Now my Kindle doesn't want to turn on, of course. the Anchorage Daily News. So I was reading straight from the Anchorage Daily News, quoting partially from Andrew Kurka himself. So anyhow, I found that really neat to think about this sport in which we always think about the reckless abandon. And here is an athlete that says that he finally found himself at a place where it wasn't working to just be reckless, to just be crazy, and he had to focus more on the technique. And now, like, roughly a year later, if I understand the article correctly, he's won not one, but 2 medals in one game. One Paralympics. So, and it was a gold and a silver. Nothing to really sneeze at. I just found that really neat, and I hope that that encouraged you today, maybe to really think back to what I was talking about champions and what makes a champion, and how part of it is study and practice. And this really honed back to that. I'm going to admit, I believe I'm coming down with my dad's cold, so I may or may not be able to be making any more videos for you by the end of the Paralympics. I have really enjoyed this journey. If I don't get to see you again, I hope that you have enjoyed it as much as I have. And I look forward to making more, and I may even make a few more I Am a Champion videos after the Paralympics if I really do come down with this cold, because I still have a few ideas I would like to share with you. So, and thoughts, of course, because thoughts on Paralympics are pretty huge in my mind right now. So I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and if there is something that maybe you've been a little bit too reckless about and things just aren't working out that way, maybe rethink how you're doing it. Maybe it's time to go and look more at the technique of what you're doing, look more at the basics of your approach. And yeah, that was my takeaway from that article. I hope that you're having a blessed day and you go out there and be a champion. Bye for now.